Hi, this is Jack Ellis up at Bar Mills. We're going to do a small little clinic here on tips and tools. And what we're basically going to look at is, I'm going to talk about some weathering powders today, but I'm also going to talk about a tool I found, which is you can buy at any of the box stores or stationery store. I think they use it for scrapbooking. And basically it's a slide cutter. I found that I use it to cut my window glazing, which is 0.005, and basically you slide it in. It's got a stop to keep it straight. You figure out your dimension, you press the slider, zip it up, and it cuts your piece off nice and parallel. That's plastic. It's got a little cutting blade on it. This is cardstock or mat board they use for pictures. I wanted it would cut it, so with a couple of passes of the cutter, a little pressure too. Oh, wait a minute, I slid it now. Now I messed it up. I can still do it. It's just hard holding it this way. It cuts it right off. It keeps it nice and square. Easy to work with. Nothing wrong with it. $9.95. Big box stores or stationery store. Grab one. They're nice to have on the bench. It also cuts some of the scribe siding for the smallest sizes. Works pretty well. Yeah, now I'm going to talk about weathering powders and our new pan pastels that have been out for a little while. You can buy these weathering powders at a couple of different outlets. Dr. Ben, I think Foss even carries them. You want to get a couple of colors, a couple of rust colors. You want a black and a white, and that's the colors I like to work with. And on the pan pastels, I'm going to suggest that you buy 6 different colors, and these are the basic colors that you basically need. And what you have is a dark brown, 2 colors rust, a black, a light gray, and a green. Those are probably all the colors you're going to need to do anything you really want to do with the pan pastels. Pan pastels, they're almost a paste, but not quite, still a little powdery. They go on a little easier than the weathering powders, but they're not quite as aggressive, and sometimes you can rub them and get them off if you need to. The other thing I've been using in the past is using a little ink and alcohol as actually my applicator for some of the weathering powders. And the nice thing about it is I can get streaks, and I can work those streaks into the product. So what I want to do is take a little bit of the ink and alcohol, touch it on the thing, and I'm going to make a little paste here. A little bit of alcohol here. And I'm going to take that paste and work it out. And then what I can do is draw a little kind of streaks right down the top here, this way. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wash them out with a little alcohol, just like they'd run down the side of the building. And you can work them right in like that, and that gives you your heavy streaks. And when you're done with all your streaks, and you can do this on detail parts, you can do it on rail cars, you can do it on buildings, mostly anything you want to weather you can do it with. I'm going to go back over, and I'm going to take a little bit of my pan pastels. You can see what they look like here. It's in almost a cake form. And I'm going to take my little brush here, I'm going to touch it in the edge of it, not too much of it, and then I can just work it in on the corners to accent. Use it to accent different places and soften some of those streaks that I put on, and it works really simple. If you want to do large scale stuff, I can show you just a second. Let me move this out of the way so we don't spill it. This is a cyclone we did in O scale, and all we did, this one is painted gray, and with the black pan pastels we scrubbed it on and accented the highlights of the lines, and then we went back over with that same technique with the paste and painted in the drips and the dribbles of where the rust would build up. Don't forget, sharp edges of metal objects rust first, more than the middle of a structure. Like the edge here on this would rust, and this would rust first, and then the bold pieces in the middle would rust. Where the water would accumulate will rust first. If you've got to work on a building, the pan pastels work really great. you can see we have on this one a stone foundation, and on that stone foundation, the coloration on that stone foundation is nothing but some black pan pastel, some green, and some ink and alcohol. That's it. There's nothing else on it. You don't need colors, you don't need anything. You can make all the weathering you want. And then on the roof, I don't know if you can see that on this one, we've done the same thing here. We've added our pastels on the edges, that's the edge of the roof, and then up the seams, and that allows you to make it look like this where it's starting to rust. The alcohol that we use is 91%. You can buy that in any of the pharmacy, big box stores. They work pretty well. The other tools that I found here, this one came, believe it or not, from Walmart. They're a very interesting little paintbrush. They're in a kid's set, but they have a nice stiff bristle on them, which makes them to apply the powders very easily. And you're going to spend like $3-4 bucks, get 5 of them. They're made so they don't roll away on you. A triangle, they're really good. They work really. And if you wreck it and scrub it all up, you throw it away and you lost yourself less than $1. So that's a quick overview on pastels, pan pastels, and weathering chalks. Don't overdo them. Work them up slowly. And when you get the layer that you like, stop. You can lighten them a little bit with the light grays, and there is also a pale white that you can get. You can use those to lighten them a little bit, but try to go slowly and then work your way up to the darkest you want. And that's about it. This is just a little quick one here today. And have some fun, do some weathering, make it look old. Thanks for coming.